Hallo und herzlich willkommen auch zu meinem Video zur Spiel 2024. Ich bin wie immer ein bisschen zu spät dran, aber das ist man ja gewohnt von meinem Upload-Rhythmus. Ich glaube, ich habe gar nicht so viel anderes zu erzählen, als das, was die anderen Creator und Co. auch schon von dem Händler- und Influencer-Event und Co. erzählt haben, was es da für Neuigkeiten gibt, inklusive neuer Karten und Co. Aber ich hatte dank Fantasy Flight Games die Möglichkeit, mit dem Gamedesigner Joe O'Neill sowohl zu spielen, als auch ein bisschen zu quatschen. Das ist das, weshalb dieses Video gleich so lang ist. Ihr werdet sehen, wie ich mich mit meinem Boba Rot Deck gegen den Gamedesigner geschlagen habe, der mit Kylo Blau unterwegs war, wenn ich mich recht entsinne. Punkt. Das Interview haben wir natürlich auf Englisch geführt. Deswegen werden die Untertitel hier auch auf Englisch sein. Aber vielleicht gegebenenfalls war ich zu faul und habe sie nicht übersetzt. Aber wer die deutschen Untertitel haben möchte, der kann irgendwo, ich glaube hier, da irgendwo unten, kann man die Untertitel von YouTube anschalten. Da werde ich zumindest eine übersetzte Version der Untertitel mit hochladen. Cool. Das war's dann auch erstmal von meiner Seite aus. Viel Spaß mit dem Interview. Ein paar knackige Titbits haben wir da drin, wie zum Beispiel, wird Galactic Ambition irgendwann sinnvoll? Viel Spaß.
How does a typical day of work look like for you, if there is something like a typical day, or is it more like a typical week?
It's more like a typical week, and it does kind of change depending on where we are in the process for a set.
Yeah.
So, for example, on Monday, I might have meetings with the other designers on, like, example, I'm on set 7 and set 9. So I have a meeting with John about set 7 in the morning and a meeting with MJ about set 9 in the afternoon. And then in between that, it's like working on the different cards and making notes for those meetings.
Is it easy to separate that in the head, that these cards are 7 and these are 9, or is it confusing?
If you're doing it back to back, it does get confusing, but usually it's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like that might be one day, and another day might be our weekly draft where we play test for drafting. One day I might do a lot of deck building, and then the next day we go to the office and all play together. And each set's in a different stage. So 7 might be in its like balance testing, where we're trying to find the strongest decks and figure out what feels too strong, what feels too weak. How do we bring the balance?
Yes.
Set 8 at the same time might be in design testing, where we want to chase the fun. We want to see what cards feel good or feel bad more than are strong or are weak. And then, yeah, the further and the future it goes, the more like conceptual.
Yeah, but I could imagine that. Okay, I have thought of a card for set 7, but it's a mechanic that gets introduced in set 8. So what do we do now?
That happens all the time.
Yeah.
But you might like split the mechanic and the theme. So maybe the character should be in set 7, but the mechanic is in set 8, and then you just kind of compromise from there.
So it's probably that you are working from Excel sheets a lot in the beginning.
Yeah. It starts in the spreadsheets and then moves over into the proxies and that we use in the office, and then eventually the real cards. So
I would love to watch the whole process, but of course I know that's a tightly guarded secret.
Yes, a little hush hush.
Yeah. So let's roll the dice. He starts.
Awesome.
Both are decks I'm not really keen to play.
So 3 decks here, and you can tell that they're probably all a little aggro, but
Yeah, same.
yeah.
But I'm probably the control deck in these combinations. I'm not sure. This is my first TCG, so I'm still thinking about this really old Magic the Gathering article, where from like 20 years ago, where somebody said, even if both are aggro, one is the control deck. And I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Usually one is the beatdown, but also in the action by action system, it can change, where it's like, every attack I want to go to base because I'm aggro, but you played one unit that's especially problematic.
Yes.
And I need to defeat it right now or I'm going to lose the game.
Yeah, I learned that about Duel yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You think that's just the 2-drop, but for everyone I played it became
Yeah.
a problem against Danny and against Xander.
Yep.
So both took immediate care of it.
Yes.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that I like to call pseudo sentinels,
Yes.
where as soon as they hit the board, you're like, that can't stay. I must attack it, just like a sentinel.
Pseudo Sentinel. I
Yeah.
remember that to sound smart.
Yeah, like Maz Kanata. She's
Yes.
easy to defeat,
Yes.
but if you leave her there, she will go so big. And then,
Yeah, I remember that from the stream that Tyler said that he had a really strong mouth Kanata,
Yes.
which now or you more often see with R2D2.
yeah, R2, especially with Rey,
Yes.
it's really nice to do turn 1 R2D2 and then Rey. Ability, make him into a 2/5.
Yes.
Maz is almost never going to get big because of that 1 health.
Mm-hmm.
But R2 has 5 health there, and he's going to stick around a little longer. But
And it's always fun if it's R2 with lightsabers.
yes,
Somehow it happens all the time.
it's one of my favorite things to see in the set 1 starters.
Yes.
People love putting lightsabers on R2 and 3PO, and it's so much.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. So you can decide which part
Alright.
you want to play. You know what I'm playing, so
Yes.
give me a chance.
I'll go for my favorite deck. It is not the strongest of these 3, but I love Kylo, and Kylo Blue was the one that made me fall in love with him.
These showcases, are these you get one because you're a game designer, or are they from
These are from packs.
board packs? Or
Both are from packs, actually. So, fun story. John opened this, and I've been wanting Kylo Showcase forever.
yes.
So I traded him my Sabine Showcase from set 1 plus an entire booster box of set 2. Completely worth it.
Yeah, it's a great
Oh,
artwork.
it's so good. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite artist so far?
Ooh.
There are a lot, but
Johnny Morrow makes a lot of great ones,
Yeah.
and I love the Grogu promo
Yeah.
for the event exclusive. That is one of my favorite art pieces.
yeah, I like Emily Hutt
Yes.
very much. I don't know who drew the Jar Jar from yesterday.
Oh,
But
yeah, I don't know off the
artwork-
top of my head.
Amazing.
I've already seen comments coming in, like just, it's so funny. It's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, we have a German influencer who tries to have the biggest Jar Jar Binks collection in the world, and he said, I told him I would bring you one. I
Good.
would bring you one.
Good. Oh, no, I grew up on the prequels.
Yeah.
So yeah, to see Jar Jar getting some 33.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same. I grew up on the special edition of the Ritzville trilogy,
Yes.
so a couple of years older.
Yes.
I think we do a high roll, right?
Sure. Yep.
That's a 6 for me.
8. Great. I will take it. I like having initiative in this deck.
Yeah, obviously.
All right.
So we take a peek at the next question.
These sleeves on this mat look so nice.
I just adore these. It's I think this one is a more playable match.
Yeah.
Because here's nothing that happens, so the cards are more in the center of it.
Yeah, they pop a little more.
Obviously this artwork is amazing.
Yes. No, this is Xander had asked us, like, what's your favorite set 3 artwork? What do you want on a play mat? And I think almost everyone on the design team said this card.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I will roll happy. I need to leave the bird. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
Inferno 4. Let's look at these top 2.
Yeah, see what he's yes.
I think both on the bottom.
Then I will play the ISB agent.
Good to know you have that.
Damage.
All right. I will take initiative wherever that ended up.
Weird. And Inferno 4 can go home.
Oh no! Well, when defeated,
I should know you list.
1 on bottom, 1 on top.
I imagine you build this deck for yourself.
Yes.
How do you start the deck building process?
That's a great question. Honestly, it does kind of depend. For this particular deck, It started because the Rey Legendary unit, who I can play in this villainy deck, and that's really fun. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to dip into blue. What can I do with that? What synergizes with Kylo in blue? And I don't want to give you too many spoilers for what's about to come, but
the question was a bit early.
I'll just tell you right now, I love upgrades on Kylo. Having the 4 deploy and such big stats is really, really nice. His biggest weakness is 4 HP. Let's throw a Resilient on him. Now he's going to stick around a little longer. And it's from there, I just keep playing the deck over and over. And I'm like, if I'm having fun, I'm going to keep iterating on this. If it feels strong, I'm going to keep iterating on this. And this one is more of a fun deck, but I've gotten some nice surprise wins out of it.
Yeah, you're like, all my upgrade removals are still in the side.
I'm so happy. Like, anytime I'm against red, I'm like, please, no Fang Fighter.
Yeah, it's there. Okay.
All right. Cell Block Guard.
Then I will claim the space with the Marking TIE Phantom.
Good card. All right. I'm gonna claim initiative.
And I will pass.
All right. Not gonna crash into my Sentinel.
Yeah. Well, but they do what about it? We have what's wrong? Guy down. What did it happen up in there? Oh, it's pretty good. I'll be best in that.
I asked a friend of mine what I should ask you, and his question was, will Galactic Ambition ever be useful?
It's a very good question. The card is, of course,
I love
right
the
now.
card because I want to play it.
Yeah. So we want that to kind of be a, like, dream build-around combo card. You might not live that dream. And I will say it gets more tools. And I've seen it get some surprise wins with a set 5 card.
Okay.
That, I don't think I could say anything more than it's in set 5 and it's expensive. But it can make some nice immediate impact.
Is there a combo that hasn't been found yet?
Usually it's just like a 2-card kind of combo with Galactic Ambition into cheating in a unit that is going to have a really big impact there. I do think overall the card is weak just because that downside is so big, hitting your base for so much.
Okay, we will talk after set 5 again.
Yes. After set 5, I will talk so much. I'm so excited for it.
What's your first set you went on?
5.
Oh, okay.
I've worked on 2, 3, 4, but 5 was like my pizza.
We know the title already. What was it?
Legends of the Force.
Okay. I guess you don't have to answer that. You don't have to look at me when I tell. We'll probably get Space Leaders next set, and we have Canon and Legends right now. Does Legends of the Force mean it's still canon, or will it be Legends? That's a very interesting question. You will not answer that, but I guess it will be canon. So.
It is a very interesting question, and I can't say anything. I've seen a lot of speculation online, and it makes me very happy to see all the different guesses.
So, but we just saw a Legend of the Force just looking out of a cave, so he will probably in that set, hopefully.
We will see.
So that the show gets continued. Please.
Yes.
Okay, let's do next round.
All right. I'm going to use Kylo to throw away Kylo and give my Cell Block Guard +2/+0.
Yes. And exactly what I think.
Then I need to run in there.
All right. 1 damage here. 5 to the base.
Yep. And my base hits back.
All right.
This card looks amazing in the promo pack.
That's in this deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love that so much. One of my favorite arts, too. Yep. All right. Let's flip.
Yep.
Knew that was coming. Still sad.
Oops. And 14 base.
All right.
No. It's your turn.
Yep.
Sorry.
No worries. I'm still gonna prep him a little bit. So let's throw an Electro Staff on Kylo.
and then we do 4 to base.
Soft pass.
I should have done that earlier, but I do it now. No, I can't do that because I have not paid that. Well, my resources were ready when he was gone.
Got it.
Still learning Boban.
Yep, that's all good. Mistriggers, I'm happy to rewind for that. All right. In that case, force throw.
Yes.
So discard a card, and I'll do damage equal to its cost.
This card is missing here in the text.
What do you mean missing in the text?
Yeah, this should not work for this card as well.
Oh, because it's discarded? Yeah. No, this card is so much defensive text. I'm going to hit that.
Yeah.
I would love to hit that, but I can't. All right.
Then I will take the initiative.
And I will pass.
Good. That's unfortunate. We just had the German Open. It was not it was from Blackfire and Asmodee. They organized it, so it's kinda official. And in the final, we had seen Timely Intervention almost winning the game single-handedly. What is the card that you remember most from plays you did? Like memeable moments, like when you play Endless Legions, it's always a good love.
Endless Legions is fantastic. That's a good example. First one coming to mind, not to give too many spoilers. I actually don't think it's in this deck anymore, but Covert Strength. Making someone's math all of a sudden off when they're trying to defeat Kylo, where they're like, oh, he's got 2 lightsabers on him or just 1 lightsaber, and I threw 3 units into him, and last unit will do the final damage, and I'll do Covert Strength, heal, get an XP, and all of a sudden he's still on the board and he's even bigger than he was before, is one of my favorite turnarounds. It's one really nice thing about Smuggle is I just always have that tool right here and ready.
Yes, I told them yesterday. Yeah. Smuggle was the moment when the game got complicated for me.
Yes. That is not uncommon to feel that, because you do have to be checking the resources a lot more frequently.
Yeah, okay, let's do the next round.
Oh, yeah. No, I am always going to be talking.
Yeah, I was asking the next question, so it's good that the person who gets interviewed is just talking, because when you're not used to asking questions, you mostly ask yes or no questions.
Yes.
And so if the other person just starts talking, that's very much appreciated. Okay.
I have initiative.
No, I do.
Oh, there we go.
4 damage to base.
Yep, that makes sense. 4, 5, I'm every 8, 3. Gonna pay 5 for long pike.
I don't really like that. And I only have Brindo in my hand.
Yeah. Taking initiative.
Then I bring out Boba.
Yep.
Just to at least get 4 on your base.
Yep. All right. You got that early lead, and I'm a little scared for it. Okay. Let's play Ruthless Raider.
Yep.
2 damage to the base and Greedo. Are you going to use the when defeated? Good discard for me.
But I will do 4 damage to base first.
Yes.
Nope. I will do 4 damage to base. This one.
All right. 5.
Five.
Let's deal 5 to base.
You know, at 12, then I do 4 to base as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who wins this race. You still have 6 resources up. I think 4 to base. Let's shield Kylo and Boba.
Rooster's right there.
Ooh.
Let's get rid of his shield.
All right.
And 2 to base.
All right. I am a little scared. I'm just going to claim.
I'll pass.
All right. 9 left versus 8 left. Every unit I have deals 4 damage.
Right.
So it's time for another question.
Yes.
Is every mechanic you have thought of, did it work out as planned? Because that's kind of a hard question to answer, I guess.
It is.
Because smuggle obviously is seen all the time.
Yes.
Grid is seen all the time.
Yeah.
Capture, not really. Are you surprised by that, or was that expected because it's maybe more? It was thought of a draft or a sealed mechanic.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And when you say mechanics working out, do you mean on a like design level or a balance level or both?
It's not often seen on the table.
Yes. So capture, we used to have more of it in the set, and it felt real bad to have all your units always removed so cheaply. And capture is meant to give green, especially, a little bit of removal that like blue has access to just vanquish, rivals fall, defeating. Green can do damage through units and things like strike true, but capturing is a lot cleaner way of doing that for green. We thought there would be a little bit more out there, but we are seeding it a little bit.
We did.
And
I said something like so. I think we can.
I'm not sure how much has been revealed in set 3 and whatnot, but there will be mechanics that we revisit in that regard.
But
So
that answers almost answers my next question, which was I have not seen if any smuggle cards in the new set, and when a leader like Hondo is built around the smuggling,
Yes.
you always think, is it just a leader for one set? Or but when you say you will revisit stuff, so that's good for all the 2 Hondo players out there.
yeah,
And I want to play it because I got the showcase. And
Yeah.
it's amazing showcase.
yeah, so my showcase Lando is in a similar situation.
Yeah.
I will say there is no smuggle in set 3, but we do talk about revisiting those kind of like, this is the set's mechanic. Like if it plays really well, if it's popular, if it's strong or dynamic, then it is something that we want to go back to and put in again and like see, can we like do it in an interesting, different way for this different set down the line.
Very good answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take a look if it's still recording. Yes.
Right. Good.
It constantly overheats.
Yeah.
Action can. Okay, you have the initiative.
I do. All right.
And I need, if you say we base.
4 to the base.
Then we are at 20.
Yep. So,
I will play Surprise Strike on Boba.
yep.
So it's 7 to base.
So I have 1 health left. So,
I'm honestly surprised that you let him live That's all. I expected him to get killed immediately.
I thought I would be the faster aggro deck,
Uh-huh.
and we've talked about surprise moments from resources.
Oh no.
Nothing.
These both have 4 power, one short of the win, but an out-of-aspect smuggle for Hotshot DL Blaster.
Oh my gosh.
That is 6 to base.
And I have a 25 base.
Yes.
But I will put the 6 damage on it. GG.
Good game. That was real close. I got so scared there.
This unique case is we're basically mentees.
But yeah.
Yeah, I could not have played it any other way, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, going back, your, I knew you had the No Good to Me Dead
Yes.
because of the ISB agent, and that is such a devastating card to see in this deck, because I'm putting all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah, it was in the same boat last set with Chirut.
Yes. Sure, it was my favorite set 1 leader. Kylo's my favorite set 2 leader. But yeah, I was trying to play around that a little bit by going slightly wider with these 2 out there. But on my flip turn, I had no other units, and all I had in my hand was a Force Throw and an Electro Staff. So I'm like, I gotta put it on there anyway.
You won. Congratulations, very close.
Yes,
I will say.
super close
I
game.
will play this deck at the Star Showdown, not right.
You see?
So, let's do another question.
Yeah.
See, it's there, but
You will probably not answer that, but I have to ask because my community asked,
Yes.
are there any plans for bans or nerfs?
Plans for what?
The nerfs. We
Ah.
all know the big
Yes.
Boba is too early.
It's
Probably not in the first 6 sets, or
I don't want to say any like probably or definitely. It is something that the team has definitely talked about and debated. How do we want to handle if it becomes necessary? At what point do we pull a trigger on it? We have a few cards that we have the pulse on where we're like, we are watching these. We know they might become stronger in future sets. And at what point do we call it? So we don't want to make any promises either way, but it is an option that we are definitely leaving on the table because we want this game to remain in a healthy meta.
of course.
And if one card makes it unhealthy, then that's something we got to address.
Is gunning or nerfing cards part of the design process? I guess so. Because
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't design a game anymore.
Yes. So without getting any specifics, designing set 5, there were a couple set 3 cards where I'm like, this is real strong in set 5 and I can't do anything about it because that's already been finalized. So we went through testing and we knew they were going to be strong, and we adjusted some of the set 5 cards to accommodate for that. But we can't also nerf all of set 5 because of something like that. So the set 5 cards are still strong, the set 3 cards are still strong, and we're going to see how dominant it is in the wild. But where we ended up at the end of testing was in a really good spot. So I think it will all work out great, but in a game with this many moving pieces, it's going to be impossible for any of us to actually predict 100%.
Probably every trading card game did it before, so why
100%.
would ours would be different there?
No, like going in the wild, we knew Boba Fett's strong. We knew he has a really good stat line, and we wanted to see it, how much the public will take him. And of course, he's been strong, but we've also seen other leaders rise up too, like Han and Sabine.
Yes.
Actually, both Hans, I think, are quite good.
I hate the old Han, but that's a quite different story.
Yes.
But there's a perfect segue to my probably last question.
Yeah.
Did you expect the meta to be there where it is right now? Or was there something within your testing present? For example, Hondo or New Bilba was way better in the testing and it has not been found in the wild yet, or
There's some stuff that has not really been found in the wild yet, and we're waiting to see if people discover that and it becomes strong, or if it's just a different environment and that card's not as strong, and that's okay too. There are ones that we knew were strong, like Boba and Sabine.
Yes.
There are a lot of shells that we see out in the wild being run with different leaders than we were expecting. I think one example is Kira is a little stronger than we thought. We knew the deck was really good. We were running in the office a lot with Palpatine. A very similar build. That's awesome. Yeah. It's a good combo.
Yeah, I lost yesterday. That's a different thing. That's a good combo, yes.
Yeah, and Palpatine will get a little stronger in set 3 with droids, because droids are things he can use to sacrifice for his ability and whatnot. So some surprises, but nothing that's like way out of left field. So
okay. Then just thinking of another question. Tyler said in an interview with Ice Cave Radio, I guess it was right before the start of set 2. He was asked, what will be the strongest aspect? He answered cunning for set 2. What's your answer for threat 3?
I think command.
Command.
I do. Palpatine is part of that. Danny, we'll talk about this a little bit too, but he loves the Dooku leader in set 3, and there's some really cool stuff you can pull off with him. My favorite leader was just revealed, Wat Tambor, and I think he's quite good. I don't think he's meta-defining, but the +2/+2 flip, another +2/+2 is such an impactful turn.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of cool pieces that green gets in set 3.
Good. I will remember you next year when you're back in Germany.
Yes.
So thank you very much for the fun game. I lost, but I'm slightly more optimistic that this is a good deck.
Yeah.
And hopefully we talk again. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Goodbye.